Hey everyone, Gunsnipe here, and now that all the four cars from the Cunning Stunts special vehicle circuit are out, like the GP1, the Ruston, the Infernus Classic, and the Turismo Classic, now that they're all out, I thought we could do a full review of the four cars, how they handle, and all that. So we're gonna start with the GP1 first, which is the one on the far end. I'm gonna take it to LSC. We're gonna just do like a simple drag race with it, and we're gonna do that with each car. So with that in mind, let's get right into the video. So here we are at LSC. We're on the tarmac with the Progen GP1. If you want to buy the car, it's in the Legendary Motorsport website, and it goes for $1,260,000. Now I've already done a whole video on the customizations and whatnot. I'll leave a link up the description of the video for this car and for the other three cars as well. So we're gonna just do like a simple drag. We're gonna go from one end of the airport, from this end to that end, and just do like a full loop. That way we can test the handling with this car and with the other cars as well. So here we go. Now it does have a little spin out when you start it up, but the car really picks up in speed really well. Now, in terms of with the other cars, the the GP1 isn't as fast like with like say the 811, which in my opinion, or from what other people are saying, the 811 is still the fastest supercar in the game. It used to be the Anis RE7B, but that was because of a glitch. But this car, if you want to get it, I mean, it's not too bad in terms of customizations. It's got a ton of it. And it doesn't suffer the whole left turn issue like some of the cars would. Like one of them that's going to be in this that we're going to see later on. But the Progen GP1 is a nice car. I mean, the interior is basic, as you can see. I mean, it is bare basic, but what do you expect for a supercar that's supposed to be like a one of those super race cars? So that's the GP1s. Now onto the Hijak Ruston. So here we have the Hijak Ruston. This is the only sports car that came with this update, just like with the GP1. That's the only supercar that came with this update. This car is also in the Legendary Motorsport website, so if you want to buy it, it's 430,000. This is the cheapest car that came with this update. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this is the only sports car in the game, and this is the only, to my knowledge, this is the only sports car where having a spoiler doesn't affect the attraction of the car in a way. Like if you put a spoiler, it give you like a small boost of a small not a small boost, but a small percentage of extra traction on the car. But for the Ruston, it doesn't do that. So you can have the car spoilerless if you want, and it'll still give you the same amount of traction as, say, a spoilered one would. So, as before, we're going to take this car around the tarmac to feel its handling and whatnot. So here we go. Now the car does have a good startup. It's not as good like say the Masakuro, because let's be honest, this car is not good for racing in any shape or form. The Masakuro would tear this car apart. This car is mainly there for looks. I mean, without the roll cage on it and all, this is just mainly like a showpiece car. I mean, you could race with it, don't get me wrong. You could race with this car, but the only way you'll win with this car is if you're racing against inexperienced racers. Like, I would never, even though I suck at racing, I would never use this car. I would use either my Masakuro or the Elegy Retro. The Retro Elegy, one of the two. But the car handles pretty well. I mean, it doesn't suffer the left turn bug that's happening with some cars. And it handles, like I said, even without a spoiler, it handles pretty well. And just like I said about the GP1, I'll link my video of the car and the customizations in the description down below. So yeah, this is the I mean not GP1, but the Hijak Ruston. Nice little car for what it for its looks, but for racing, nah, it's not that good. So let's go on to the next car, which is the Infernus Classic. Now here we have the third of the number three of the four vehicles, and it's the Pegassi Infernus Classic. Now I have mine painted like to look like Lance Vance's Infernus from Vice City, but this car is it came out last week, and it's the most expensive car to be on of the four. Well, second most expensive of the four. It's the second most expensive of the four, but it's the most expensive of the three unreleased ones. It's on just like the others. It's on the Legendary Motorsport website, and it goes for $915,000. Pretty steep for a sports classic car, but considering the others, kind of like the Mamba, it's not that bad. So just like with the other cars, we're gonna go around the tarmac from start to finish. So here we go. Now, in terms of its placement in racing, it's supposed to be up there with like the Sterling GT, which is the fastest car in the sports classic category. But the Infernus Classic and when we get to it, the Turismo Classic, those are supposed to like overtake it now. So I think the Turismo Classic is gonna be the best car in terms of sport in the sports classics category, with the Infernus Classic being close second and the Sterling GT being a close third. Now, this car unfortunately does suffer from a notorious bug that's been going around since the 811, and that's the spinning out when turning left, as you can see. Apparently, Rockstar messed up the handling or the files for these cars, where I say it's either the right tire or the left tire acts like it's permanently damaged, like when you ram into it a good bit, and it starts, and after you if you ran into if you ran one of those tires a good bit, like like try to bend it into the frame, it tends to want to spin the car out. Now it doesn't do that when you turn right, unless you do it intentionally, like stancing the car or whatnot. But turning left, the car does suffer from it, and it suffers greatly for it. The only way you can fix this is if you take the turn like gently. That way you don't spin out. Because if you take it hard, like just do a hard left or yeah, if you just do a hard left, the car is gonna spin out. So yeah, that's like a little bit of a buyer beware for this car. So if you don't have the fun, if you want buy either the Turismo Classic or the Infernus Classic, buy the Turismo Classic, since that car doesn't suffer from the bug. But anyway, that's the Infernus Classic, so let's go to the last one, which will be the Grotti Turismo Classic. Now lastly, we have the Grotti Turismo Classic. This car is, just like the other three, is on the Legendary Motorsport website, and it goes for $705,000. The car practically came out today. It's pretty much the best, in my opinion. This is going to be the most sought after car in online until the returning player stuff like the Duke of Death and all that stuff comes out. So, like always, we're gonna go around the track and want to see how it handles. So here we go. Now for for acceleration and whatnot, it does have a good pickup. It does go to its maximum speed really quick. And like I said about it on the with the Infernus Classic, this car is supposed to overtake the Sterling GT as the best sports classic vehicle in the game. Now, if you were to race this with its original, like the Turismo R, just like with the Infernus Classic, if you race that with its original version that came in the game, these cars would actually hold their own with their counterparts. Now, granted, their counterparts will overtake them, but these cars will hold their own. So if you race anyone in the sports classic category with this car and you're good at it, you'll do pretty well. Now, fortunately, this car doesn't suffer from the left turn bug like the Infernus Classic does. It does have like a small, like a little bit of a drift factor with it. I don't know if that's because I'm using uh tuner wheels, but yeah, I mean this car does drift pretty good in that regard. So, and this car has some good customizations. So if you, like I said, between this car and the Infernus Classic, I get this car because this car really handles pretty well, and the interior of it is not too shabby. I mean, it's, like I said, it is model. Like I said in my previous video about the Turismo, it is modeled after the F40. So yeah, that's it for all the cars that came out so far from this update. So thank you so much for watching. Please drop a like, subscribe, and share this video out. I hope it kind of helps anyone who was looking forward to buying one of these vehicles. Um, like I said, I will be doing my live stream tomorrow with, you know, making money and stuff. So if you want to join up on me to make money using the import export or the MC stuff in peace without having to deal with any griefers, you know, like road crews or jet pilots and whatnot, feel free to add me on my on PSN. My name, you know, my name is the same as my YouTube channel name. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the live stream.